5. So these are two very, very evenly matched teams. And we're underway. Daniel Fabakovic, a second-team All-American from last year, serving. And a free ball. They put it over. But coming right back, a bomb from the back row. And that goes for the first kill of the match. And after serving the ball, then Fabakovic came in and put it away. He's an all-conference performer the last 2 years, and I guess when you're second-team All-American, you're going to be that. And they had a tough pass on that serve, and they just have to bump it over. Should give them a good chance to attack again, and I guess we can see a focal point of their attack. When they had good options in the front row, they still go to the back row, and he delivers again.
Exactly, and Ohio State's defense just a little stagnant there. They're going to have to constantly be moving to keep up with Loyola's powerful attack.
Fabakovic came in with 177 kills. Quickly, he's got 2 early ones here. Now the first real swing for Ohio State, and it pays off. Shane Wetzel, he hit .509 in that IPFW victory, and every attacker on the team hit at least .440, and they need to continue that.
Definitely, like we said, Wetzel, a go-to guy for the Buckeyes, especially when they've had their struggles. He misses that serve, but Wetzel leads the team in points, in kills. He's a captain who Coach Birch has just credited for really getting his voice this year and becoming more confident as a leader, which Ohio State has needed. That
was a error, but an aggressive error off the serve, which is the way Kevin Birch wants his team to play. There's a big block put up in the middle. Said that's going to be an issue for Ohio State, and then swing there, back the other way, and then put away by Oscar Berg Mickelson. He's the one we talked about. He'll tower over everyone on this floor tonight.
Yeah, he will. The Buckeyes are going to have to adjust to get around him. We'll get another look at that.
You're not going to be able to just hit right through that.
No, they're going to have to make some adjustments.
Another aggressive serve that went wide, but that's what Kevin Birch really wants to see from his Buckeyes is aggressive play.
Exactly. He gathered them all up at the end of practice yesterday, and he said, this is the word I want you to remember in your head, aggression, no matter what.
Strong serve, but good pass from the back, sets up a swing, but the block there, Eliel Salvatores, and he was joined by Haczynski. And that makes it 3-4. So he took the line away. Torres, with the aid of Haczynski, then made the block in the middle. And that one hits the tape and rides over. Attack, 2 blockers get there again, but they keep the play alive over to the far side. The roll shot, and that clicks for Tyler Howard to make it 5-3. Good pass over by the libero, J.J. Soa. He had 7 digs in that last match that they played against Ohio State. Now back on the right, and the kill by Haczynski to make it 4-5.
Haczynski's another team leader in kills. He's right behind Wetzel. He's really grown a lot from last season to this season, and really you can tell he's a lot more comfortable on the court in all areas of his game, serving, attacking.
And he was still an honorable mention All-American. And the block, but it lands out. And so that will be a kill for the Ramblers. And back to serve is Josh Schellinger. He had 16 kills against Ohio State to lead the Ramblers, and he too had been injured for some of the season, but now is coming back strong. There's a tough serve. They pass it though, and they get a quick swing in the middle, and the kill for Aaron Grimm. His 83rd kill of the season. He played extremely well in those 2 matches last week for the Buckeyes. Now one of the Puerto Rican duo for Ohio State, Daniel Henwood Rodriguez, he and Eliel Salvatores. Dynamic duo.
Looks like Henwood Rodriguez is sporting a fresh haircut.
And that ball bounded all the way out. And that cross-court shot couldn't get that soft block up to keep it in play. And now Mickelson back to serve. I won't try to add anything to the fashion commentary there. That's your department.
Look, just something, when you call a lot of their games, you start to notice.
Oh, there's a great play there by Rodriguez. And trying to dive to keep the ball off, but not able to. And I don't know if he softened that and hit him up top, but he nevertheless handled that swing very, very well to keep it in play, and the Buckeyes back within a point. And now it's Chinsky serving.
He leads the team in service errors, but he has such a powerful serve. That's kind of the gamble you take with it, trading aces for errors.
And there's a quick pass across. You have to bump set it to the net, and unable to really get under it for a good swing, Hurley, and it went long. But when that first shot comes over with so much pace and it's hard to control, then it's very difficult to make a bump set from beyond the baseline. And now serving Ryan McElligott. He's the one who he led the nation in assists last year, and an ace. He had 47 assists in that earlier win over Ohio State. And then when he was out, they got some excellent work from Alex Smits-Van Ooyen. He's got 390 assists coming into the match tonight. So with in the middle, the swing and the kill. And that one is converted with great efficiency by Aiden Klein, the defensive player of the week. He looks like he might win some offensive awards too.
Yeah, he's outstanding offensively. He's hitting .527, which is the second in the nation, not just the conference, the entire country. That's how efficient he is offensively.
And they work it over to the left, and there's the kill, or I should say the block by Klein. It looked like it was going to be a kill perhaps, but Klein was able to get over, and he wasn't really even set, but he was just simply able to get over there and redirect the ball.
Yeah, Loyola starting to pull away just a little. I have a feeling if they get another point or two, Coach Birch is going to call a timeout to regroup his team.
You have to feel that their blocking is be a big factor in this match, and there's a cut shot and a kill for Hurley, and this time he figured I better try to hit around instead of just trying to hit directly through the block.
Yeah, starting to make those adjustments, and sometimes those are things you can't even work on in practice. You have to get that game time feel of how Loyola is going to block, and they're making those adjustments early on, which is a good sign for Ohio State.
How do you practice against a 7-2 blocker?
Yeah.
And that swing, that ball goes long by Fabikovich. You know, in basketball, where they used to play a center like that, they'd put a table tennis racket on the rim, so you have to shoot it higher. How do you do that in volleyball? I don't know.
They bring those boxes out. Maybe they need Coach Birch to stand on one of those.
Not sure it'd still be 7-2.
Yeah.
Back and the swing and the whistle, though, as the back row attack, and Ohio State gains that point. And it's fortunate because Hurley could not settle that ball, and it would have been a kill otherwise.
Ohio State was down by 5. They've closed that gap, just down 2 now. So they've done a great job of staying in this first set.
If the hitter crosses the 10-foot line, then it is a violation, and then a service error makes it 12-9 for Loyola Chicago. And here's Fabikovich. He started the match. He was on the U18 Czech national team. Hails from the Czech Republic. And there is kill as they get that quick in the middle and put away by Torres, who makes no mistake. Wetzel back to serve.
Like we said, he's one of the Buckeyes' leaders and aces.
Yes, Fabikovich with a great pass to serve, but that quick, it just couldn't quite, that timing has to be impeccable, and they didn't quite get it into Klein's wheelhouse. And Ohio State within a point now. Wetzel, that big southpaw serve. And a cross-court shot could not be handled even by the Ohio State libero, and the kill by Schellinger, as it just is too hot for Drew Hudson, the sophomore libero, to keep aloft.
Yeah, Drew Hudson, sophomore captain, the first ever sophomore captain in Ohio State men's volleyball history. So,
yeah, there's a kill as they answer really back in a hurry. It's Wetzel, and that makes it a 1-point margin again.
Yeah, Buckeyes have done a great job as we get a look at that big swing by Wetzel. Did a great job of navigating the block and finding the open line.
You see Hudson down there directing positioning of some of the players, and when you're an underclassman to do that, that just shows the respect he has being named captain.
Yeah, I had asked, was this a team decision, a coaching decision, and Coach Birch said it was almost unanimous between the staff and the players. They all just feel that he has what it takes to be a leader for the team.
And that ball just kept up, had to sweep it over, and it worked out perfectly for Rodriguez. And it looked like it would just basically be a play out of necessity, but he ended up finding the open spot on the floor.
Now if Loyola does score here, they'll go to a media timeout. That'll happen whenever the first team reaches 15.
And an ace. Not yet.
Not yet. Eliel Salvatores, who's been one of those key pieces for Ohio State this season, gets the Buckeyes their first ace of the night.
He's a Cincinnati product. He was a state champion at St. Xavier High School. Serves back to the same spot. This time they're ready for it, and uncoiling for the swing. The soft block is up. Joust, pump deep, covered by Schellinger. Now the big swing. Oh, that one hit Hurley. And maybe the hairstyle would have helped to absorb that.
Huge for them in their last run. He just earned those Defender of the Week honors 3 days ago on March 16th for the first time ever.
Man, there is an ace. Heavy top spin on that serve by Josh Schellinger. And that makes it 16-14 for the Ramblers. They started off on a good run here, but Ohio State crept their way back. And they're trying to open it up with perhaps a service run, but that one hit the official in the foot, so we knew that was long. And again, it's back to a 1-point deficit. See the Ohio State players in the front row getting set to take their positions based on the location of the serve. In the middle, and what are you going to do? Mickelson, he can just levitate over everyone and then hit on top of them.
Yeah, he's tough. He's the tallest volleyball player I've actually ever covered in a match before. It's making it challenging for the Buckeyes.
The challenge is to put the ball in his wheelhouse, because you got to go higher than most people. But once they get used to that, he can be lethal as that serve goes long. And really, service errors are helping keep Ohio State close right now.
Yeah, they are. Loyola has 3 service errors already. Now the Buckeyes have 3 themselves. So they've canceled each other out a little bit. It's a little bit of a quiet night here in the Covelli Center. It's spring break for Ohio State, so they don't have a student section. Usually they do, so that makes things a little tough too when it's quiet.
And as you said, they're exchanging service errors, although Loyola Chicago had made a few recent ones that were keeping Ohio State close, but they gave that one back. And now it's McElligott to serve. Led the nation in assists last year. Another left-handed server. They go out to the right, and the kill for Hurley, or Wetzel that is, and Ohio State once again is back within a point. Just nipping at their heels, and you get the feel that they're ready to break out here as Brady Jones comes on to serve.
Yeah, he's been subbing in a lot of games this season just to serve. He does a great job.
But again, they get that quick set, and Klein finishes it off. And you can see that he's a lot more than just a defensive specialist, as per the award that he attained last week. And when you have either him or Mickelson in that front row, that's going to create problems for the opposition. In the back, the big swing, and that finds the floor. Jake Hasinski with that kill to make it 18-19. And once again, we just keep going, oscillating back and forth between a 2-point and a 1-point margin. Tucked it nicely inside the line, and a service error.
It's Wetzel's second service error of the night, but he is leading all players on both teams in kills. He has 4 of Ohio State's 10 kills so far in this first set.
Klein to serve, and now Mickelson is back on in the front row. So they always have that tough middle. Wetzel from beyond the 10-foot line, and you might see him doing that a little bit more to try to cope with the blocking obstacles there. So he's played on the top team representing his country, and between those two guys, that really gives you a foundation. And another service error. This service error has really been a big factor here more and more as we go along.
Yeah, that's 4 service errors for Loyola so far, and like you said, the Buckeyes have been so close but just have not been able to take the lead. They were down by as many as 5 points. They were down 11-6 earlier in this match, but they've fought back and they've kept it close ever since then.
Hurley with the serve, and that's the thing. When you have the service errors, you have to serve aggressive. If you take something off and they get a good pass, then they come back and they kill you the way they just did there with Babakovic. And it's a 3-point margin again. Serve down the line, a good pass in the middle, almost an overpass, but it was saved by Rodriguez, who got it to Torres, and the 2 Puerto Ricans team up for a big kill.
Again, Ohio State hanging right in this one.
I really thought that was going to go over, or we'd at least have a joust, but he saved the play, Rodriguez, and now he's back to serve. Hammers it, but they work it out on the right, and there's a kill for Tyler Howard. One of the things about Loyola is they have a lot of depth. They have a number of players who are not their top performers or the top producers, but they're solid producers.
Yeah.
And Howard is one of them.
Exactly, and it's even when they've had All-Americans injured throughout the season, that depth has carried them through. You almost wouldn't even know that some of their top players were out.
And Ohio State works it beautifully there to Grimm for the kill, as Rodriguez set him beautifully. And Ohio State battling to the bitter end here. As we said in that previous match, they lost one set 26-24 and one 27-25. This is looking quite similar.
Yeah, it's been very evenly matched. Both teams have 12 kills. Both teams have 4 service aces, make that 5 for the Buckeyes.
And again, somebody in the stands might say, well, how can they keep making these errors? But if you take your foot off the pedal, you're just asking for them to come back and get a great swing on you.
Exactly. Ohio State, they don't want to take their foot off the gas at all. They don't want to play it safe. That was not a part of their game plan.
Now they work it to Wetzel, and he tools the block. And here we go again. 22-24, and they're just one little service run away by Haczynski of getting even and possibly stealing this first set, but they face double set point here.
Haczynski leads the Buckeyes in service errors. He has 1 already tonight, but that one is going to be an ace.
That happens when you serve like he does. If it's not an error, there's a good chance it's going to be an ace. And even there,
find that balance, keep Ohio State in this first set.
But just could not quite harness that power. And the set goes to
that hopefully they can figure out a little sooner here in this second set.
Brady Jones going to start things in the second set. Came on as a serving specialist in the first set. And then Ohio State from the back, and the kill as Haczynski came flying up to put that one away. The Polish native played high-level volleyball in his native land before coming over. And Brady Jones, a lot of great international talent on display. And that serve went wide and long, 1-all. Here is Aiden Klein. He made 4 aces in one of the matches. They swept Queens last week pretty handily. Serve is passed very well by Hudson. They get it over to the left, and the kill as they tool the block, and Hurley records the kill.
That's Hurley's second kill of the night. He also has 2 errors. He was struggling a little bit offensively just to figure out, like we said, where to go over Loyola's block.
They clearly had to make some adjustments there. Mickelson had to run that one down or be a free ball as they bump it in. Hudson keeps it high in the air to try to make it as difficult as possible and let those blockers get in position, and it pays off almost, but the ball bounded out. But nevertheless, it was very nearly a successful block for Torres. They played it well considering it was a free ball. And now it's Howard. And it's passed well by Hurley. Wetzel with the swing, but blocked by Mickelson in that 7'2" roadblock, and then he gets over to the other side to join in on the block on the far end, but finally they hit around it, and Hurley gets the kill as Sosa can't quite dig it up.
Hurley coming out strong in this second set, already has 2 kills in this second set, and he only had 1 the entire first. So like we said, starting to make adjustments and figure things out as he's going back to serve now.
That high-powered jump serve, but most of their errors were long, but that one goes into the net, so they're trying to adjust. And it's 3-all. This is Schellinger. He practically hit the rafters with that ball toss. A great pass there by Hurley as he had to lay out. And the hitter lost his footing. Got the set anyway, and they just had to tip it over. Now a swing. Talk about a broken play. And it's pumped over. And a free ball opportunity, the cut shot, and they call the touch. And so it is the kill for Schellinger. And 4-3. But that was an odd play when the hitter slipped, and both teams were just scrambling after that. One played forward, and the kill by Torres after the good passes served by Haczynski. They're not always doing it in system, but it's working on occasion.
Yeah, you know what? Buckeyes are having to get crafty a little bit offensively, but it's working. Henwood Rodriguez, he knows when to send that over.
That's half the battle, is to be able to improvise. And that ball dropped on the Ohio State side despite the presence of the blockers. And Mickelson back. He won a silver in the Danish Volleyball Cup and the Nordic Cup, qualified the Danish team for the European Championships. He was on that team. A quick set and a kill by Aaron Grimm, and he's made some big plays on occasion here to help lift the Buckeyes.
Yeah, he has 3 kills so far for Ohio State. He's come up in some big moments. We'll get another look. Just such good connection with Rodriguez and all of his attackers, and that's something that Ohio State players have preached all season, is that they have really solid chemistry with Daniel Henwood Rodriguez as he gets a nice dig there.
He had to really sprawl for that ball, and then the touch and the kill for Haczynski. And Ohio State is finally edged out in front. They've been breathing down the necks of the Ramblers for the longest time. Now their heads are above water.
And now it comes down to, can they hold on to this lead or form an even bigger lead, because the Ramblers, they keep working their way right back in.
Oh, it was a great pass there by Fabikovic. Got the ball up, and they turned the defense to offense to make it a tie, 6-all. Klein on the kill. And the left-handed serve by McElligott into the net.
This second set is just so important for Ohio State. You do not want to get down 2-0 to a team like Loyola. If they could even it up here and take this second set, then they'd have a fighting chance going into the third.
Chinsky this time served short, but it was covered by Soa. Swept over, and they go back to the far side for Hurley. Bump set, Howard, beautifully placed in the corner. You know, that short serve was very effective, but Soa was able to get to it. You wonder maybe he could have tried that in that final serve in that opening set when they were waiting for the big one.
Yeah, we'll get another look at it here. That was perfect placement in that back corner.
Oh, there's another great pass by Hasinski. Wetzel, 2 blockers, but they cannot settle the ball. Had too much power behind it, and it is 8-7 Buckeyes. Aaron Grimm had 4 blocks against Ball State. He's an all-around player. Excellent server. That ball skimmed over, but Sawa kept it up, and the kill by Howard on the right side. Both teams, I think, have really raised their game here in this second set. We've seen some very good volleyball here, and it's 8-8.
Yeah, very competitive so far, and that's what you really can't expect from these two teams. They always play each other really hard, and both coaches were anticipating that it'd be a close fight tonight.
Right. Even though he had to go across the court, Hudson found the setter, and they got the kill with the touch. Hurley, that was a great effort there by the libero, Hudson, to find Rodriguez, despite the fact that he was going the opposite direction across the court. Another big serve with a good pass. And those good passes are setting up fine attacks on both sides, and the kill by Schellinger.
Just going back and forth, point for point between these two teams. Again, beautiful set.
Saw the blockers couldn't get over and had a gaping gap. Howard had a powerful topspin on it, but just long. And Ohio State up 10-9.
Daniel Hurley back to serve now. He does have 2 service errors so far for Ohio State. They have 9 as a team.
Great pass again by Sawa, but this time the block is there by Torres. They have to send a free ball up, and they fake and then go to the back row, and a kill by Hurley. They disguised that very well, like they were going to the front row, and then they pass it to the back, and Hurley made no mistake.
Buckeyes finally able to establish a little bit more of a lead than just trading point for point as Hurley's back to serve again.
When 2 points is your biggest lead, that shows how close it's been. And that ball hit the antenna, and it will be a kill as a result for Schellinger. His 16 kills led Loyola in their victory, led both teams in that earlier win over Ohio State. Loyola Chicago was the NCAA basketball champ in 1963. Oh, what a swing off a fine set there. Right in stride, Torres puts it away.
Eliel Salvatores, 3 kills so far. No attack errors.
And now he's back at the service line.
Where he also has an ace and no serving errors. So he's been playing a very clean game.
And so is Howard there for Loyola Chicago. He has stepped up in big moments.
Yeah, he really has. He just got his 6th kill of the night.
Without Alexander Sosa, they need as many people as possible to step up. And that shot is good. Cross court. A lot of power behind it. Haczynski, that was not a cut shot. He just fired it and found the line, practically painted it.
Haczynski has done such a great job, and important to note, when he came to Ohio State, he did not know much English. So if you just think about how far he's come and how much he's had to work to really get comfortable going to school here and playing here, he's done an outstanding job.
Now that overpass allowed them to get it over to Haczynski, and he just tipped the ball. I'm sure those were some have been playing in the second set. The first set was a little error prone. And served by Rodriguez. And Ohio State continues to roll at the block, and it is 15-11. Hannah Williford is heading down court. She's going to be interviewing the coaches here. Once the set concludes, and the serve is wide by Rodriguez, and that's what it took to slow things down. Ohio State was really starting to hit their stride. And now, Loyola Chicago trying to recover as Ryan McElligott with a serve. It's again a good pass by Haczynski. He's really been playing well in the back row, and a whistle there. And one of the few violations that we have seen in the back row attack that we had earlier. And Ohio State up 16-12. Haczynski preparing here, another big bomb, but that one is passed extremely well. I think the serve receive for both teams is the reason why we've seen so many more of those kills that we saw in the highlight package. And then the block there put up by Mickelson. And Ohio State cannot return the ball, and it is now 13-16. The whole game revolves around first ball contact. And both teams have been extremely strong in that department here in this second set. And another good example of it is they find the serve and get a big swing. Bump set across by the libero Soa. Up by Rodriguez. Now Wetzel. And the kill as the ball was touched on his hand, and it is 17-13 Ohio State. Now Aaron Grimm, redshirt sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky. 82 kills, 37 blocks entering this match. An excellent utility player. And he induces the overpass with that serve. And a simple finish for Torres. And really is an all-around contributor. And the serve by Grimm. That ball skims the tape. Soa able to pass that. That was maybe meant to be a roll shot. It almost went out, but he couldn't get out of the way. The two blockers are there, but they're into the net. And the Ohio State Buckeyes are called for it. And the point awarded to the Ramblers. It is 14-18. You take a look here, and you can see clearly that Hurley was the one who was into the net, although the blockers may have been after the fact. And a bomb there. Pass by Hudson, a quick serve, but the block by Mickelson. I think if he's not 7'2", he doesn't get that one. And he gets over there and blocks another one. You can see how well he moves laterally, too. He just gets from side to side. Excellent mobility. And he's there to join the blocks. And that's the task of the middle blockers, but some do it extremely well. And that's why he's a member of the senior Danish national team. Now to serve is Lucas Anderson for the Ramblers, on as a serving specialist. Hudson, overpass, Mickelson. Hudson again. This time he passed it well, found his setter, and again we had a back row attack. Second one we've seen of those. Called on the Buckeyes. And Loyola Chicago, it looked like they were starting to be outplayed by the Buckeyes, have battled back, but a service error by Anderson allows Ohio State to make it 19-16. And Wetzel to the service line. Ohio State will try to win that coveted race to 20. Coveted only less than the race to 25. But you win the race to 20, you're in good shape. There's a back set to the right, and again, Howard with the kill. And he has been a major force in this match. He's up now to 7 kills and leading the Ramblers, but here tooling the block the other way is Hurley, and that makes it 20-17. And Hurley, as a result of that kill, inherits the ball for serving duty, and Ohio State does hit 20 first. So a great passive serve from the back, overpass, but still a great effort by Hudson. And then the ball is put down, but it just missed the line. Oh, they're going to call it a lift on Schellinger, and he looked back in dismay and disbelief at the official. He was thinking that he had put that one in the bank. And the first real ball handling call that we've had here tonight. And it comes at a critical time, the difference between 21-17 and 2018. They're not going to review it. And a tough serve and an ace for Hurley. And suddenly Ohio State is up 5. They are 3 points away from putting this set away in very impressive fashion. They've got to keep going. Again, so with a good pass to serve. And the blockers combine, and they prevail against Mickelson, Haczynski, and Torres. As we take a look at this, they close up that seam. It appeared that they really had left something for the hitter, and then they took it away. 6-point lead. Ohio State playing very strong right now. Hurley with the serve. Schellinger passes it, then he gets in position with a cut shot, but Hudson is there, ready and waiting. And this time Mickelson rejects that shot from Wetzel. But they got a lot more ground to cover before they get back to even. That's what having a 7-2 in the middle and one who's very rangy will do for you. Tough serve. Two Ohio State players nearly collide. Haczynski with a big swing, though. And Ohio State is within 1 point of taking the set, and they have 6 match points or set points in reserve with Torres at the service line. And that makes it 19-24, and you could see he was going for it all, knowing that if he didn't, they still have a fairly formidable cushion. Although that's how big comebacks start. And I think he just decided he was going to go for it, and the set was in his hand, and if he made a great serve, Ohio State would win it. And if not, they can win it on one of the next 5 attempts. And they do it right there. Wetzel. And Ohio State answers back with a 25-19. Really seriously challenge them. Now let's see what happens now as we begin the third set. That ball just skims over the tape. Hurley pass it. Look at Soa getting to the ball. Then they go cross court. He tips it over, pancaked, but it hit Wetzel in the head. And the point goes to Loyola. Schellinger with that tip for the kill. And again, a lot of great hustle out there, a lot of great digs, gets, and good passing, even in tough situations. We saw in that second set, and again here starting the third. And tooling the block there is Wetzel to tie it up at 1.
Wetzel has been so dominant, 9 kills so far tonight. He leads all players.
He had 18 kills over the 2 matches last week, and that ball just walked along the tape and decided to fall on the wrong side for the server. And it's an error, and 2-1 for Loyola. Could have gone either way for quite some time. Now Aiden Klein. And he had a different type of a service error. He just powers it into the courts, but not quite enough elevation.
Coach Davis was really impressed with Ohio State's serving in that second set. He said they really laid on the service pressure. And even though the Buckeyes, they have their fair share of service errors, when they do get it over, it is powerful and it is hard to receive.
Yeah, they really dialed in the second set compared to the first. But another great shot by Howard, and he continues to carry the load for Loyola in this match. He's really been their go-to hitter as much as anyone. And there's an ace, so he adds to his laurels and makes it 4-2. So a great kill, and then a ace where nobody really even touched the ball or could get to it.
The amount of power between these two teams. I got a different look at it when I went down there and I was on the sidelines, and you just see things so differently than when you're sitting up elevated or even when you're watching it on TV. It's just amazing how much power both of these programs have.
Howard there, you see that. He did have a lot of pace on that. He's had 10 kills twice this year for his high. He could eclipse that today very easily, especially now that we know the match is going to go at least 4. And they have to scramble, but they can't get it over. And Ohio State has tied it at 4. And Salvatores. And he makes a big run up to the line, powers it into the corner, but again, a good pass of serve, and Howard long there. And the passing of serve continues to be very high quality since that opening set when there were just a lot of service errors and nobody could really get into a rhythm.
Yeah. And, you know, Salvatores, his serve almost looked like it could have been veering out, but it was so fast moving that they got underneath it anyway. That one does go out. He trades a really solid serve for an error.
As long as your team's no worse off than when you took the ball, then that's at least acceptable.
Exactly right.
And another big serve attempt, but that one goes wide for Schellinger. And Rodriguez. And I've heard some coaches say that even if you get 5 aces in a row, I don't want an error on the next one. But typically speaking, that's a rule of thumb. Just stay in positive territory. And that one goes out wide and a kill. No, it hit him in the foot. It's still alive. The Ramblers were in the midst of celebrating. Now they try again. Rodriguez this time used his hands to keep it up in the air. A block, the antenna was struck. And it was struck by the Ramblers.
Yeah, they're going to call a carry on the Ramblers.
Well,
We'll
they're going to review this, I'm sure. And look, the ball hit 2 guys' feet. They were definitely playing soccer. First Hernandez and then Hurley.
So they're going to challenge that call, Loyola is. They're likely challenging whether the ball hit the ground or it hit Daniel Henwood Rodriguez when it bounced off his leg there. From what we just saw in the review, that's going to be a close call, whether that ball hit the ground there or it hit his leg, because then we see Daniel Hurley stick his leg out.
I can't remember too many plays where I've seen where two successive players play it with their feet, but they are signaling play on, and Ohio State awarded that point.
Okay, it looks like he didn't end up challenging it. Coach Davis had his green challenge card pulled, but they're going to keep playing.
See two guys in a row play it with their feet. That's something. And that shot goes wide. And the Buckeyes again extend their lead, and they're starting to take control here. Take a look now.
There's that look. I think you can tell it does hit his foot, because look at his shoelaces. We'll get another look right there. They're moving, so I think that did bounce off his foot. There's no question on Hurley there, but what an athletic play to keep that one going.
Now, if the third guy could use his feet, I know I would have never seen that before. Coming right back, Hudson kept it in the air, allowing Rodriguez to run it down. In the middle, back, and the kill for Schellinger as the ball was touched and out. And Mickelson comes on, and maybe that'll slow Ohio State down a little bit, as they just seem to be in the zone with a Midas touch there. And Mickelson with a service error. Ohio State, despite the fact that the Ramblers played well in the second set, they just seem to be playing on a little higher plane, and it's continuing here into the third set. Hitchinski, who played an outstanding second set, his back row play as much as his front row play, but there's an error. And it is 7-9. Ryan McElligott came back. His first game back from injury was when they faced Ohio State earlier this year. And that serve into the net. And this is looking a little bit more like the opening set when the teams were exchanging service errors quite frequently. Grimm. Nicely passed. Got that soft block up so they can run it down. Hurley from inside the 10-foot line scores.
And that assist will go to Stanislaw Hitchinski, who set that one up from the back row. A beautiful set out to Hurley.
When you get the block up, you can't always control where it's going to go, and everybody has to be prepared, and everybody has to be a passer on occasion. And the service error makes it 8-11. Service error is a little more acceptable when you establish a bit of a cushion. We saw that when Ohio State had the numerous set points in their pocket in the previous set. Took something off that one. And then Hurley, and that one went long. You don't see so much of the float serves, and occasionally they'll work in a shorter serve and they'll try to work for the lines, but for the most part, they're power serving. And there's an example of just took something off that one, but Ohio State handled it. Great passive serve there. And put away by Wetzel.
Wetzel's in double-digit kills now with 10. He's been so efficient. 10 kills, 3 errors.
He hit 509 in the last match, and he's even doing better than that here so far tonight. Howard looks for the line, but the line is covered by Hudson. Then Wetzel back and splits the defenders to make it 13-9. And Ohio State is really
36, so Ohio State has been able to convert more offensively as Wetzel has a big serve.
Schellinger was an All-American honorable mention at University of California, San Diego before ending up at Loyola, Chicago. Here's a tip, and great effort there to keep the ball alive by Howard, and then the kill by Fabikovich. And it is 10-13, and that's the kind of a point that can get your team going.
Yeah, that's the type of play you want coming out of a timeout. That's why you call a timeout in a situation like this. So the Ramblers came out strong with that one. Fabikovic notches his 5th kill of the match.
That's the coach's point.
It is.
Let's see if they can get more out of it than just the one. They go across court. Schellinger tips it back deep. Played by Kaczynski, big swing, and they cannot handle that. And a kill for Wetzel again. He continues his hot hand.
And now we're seeing why Coach Birch said, through it all, when we're having our tough moments, Wetzel is our go-to guy no matter what. He's proving that tonight with his 12 kills. He's really been one of the primary reasons Ohio State has been leading.
Curley with the serve, and the attack tooling the block there. Schellinger, as we just were talking about him, and he raises his kill total even more. And here's the other guy who's really been carrying them tonight, Howard. At the service line. And he bombed that one, but look at Hudson handle it and put over by Rodriguez, and great hustle in the back to keep it afloat. Sauer's there, the joust. Mickelson, Hudson again, well positioned like a good libero, and then they block Wetzel. Mickelson again, standing tall, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, Loyola really fighting to get back in this 3rd set.
Some great hustle defensively. Soa doing a great job in the libero position. He and Hudson both really coming to the forefront. And ball bounded out, tooling the block. Kaczynski for the kill. Now Torres back to serve.
Salvatores, he did have an ace earlier in the match. He also has 2 service errors, but he has a nice touch on his serve where it can just roll off the net, as we saw there.
Yeah. Howard comes back, and this time the tip for the kill. And Loyola Chicago, you're not ranked as high as they are, number 7 in the nation, by giving up matches like this, and they're still battling hard. Down by just 2 now. In spite of Ohio State's excellent play. There's Grimm. Again, Howard with a great play in the back. Rolled, pancake by Wetzel. Free ball, but he had to play it from behind the back, and that was just eaten up by Rodriguez.
Yeah, but it looks like they're going to call that the Buckeyes were in the net. I think it might have been Daniel Henwood Rodriguez, so Loyola will get the point there.
Not sure what happened. He was all set for a big swing, and the next thing you know, he turned his back to the ball and just had to tip it across, but saved by the call. But the service error puts Ohio State back up in front by 2. Rodriguez. Another great pass to serve, and Mickelson puts it away. Schellinger again making that play. They have really picked up the defense, and that's why Loyola Chicago is only a point away now.
Yeah, exactly. What a great play from start to finish, and this might be one of the biggest celebrations we've seen from the Ramblers so far tonight. That really got them amped up.
Howard, like Aiden Klein, he was more or less a part-time player last year, but he has really stepped it up now, as Aiden Klein has as well. And 17-15, however, Ohio State reestablishes their 2-point lead. And it is Kaczynski on the service line. And there again, he brings him in short, but handled it very well. Schellinger, and a kill by Fabikovic, and it is a 1-point deficit.
Ohio State has had the advantage almost the entire 3rd set and kept this lead, but Loyola has just been knocking on the door to tie it up and potentially come out on top, and They have a lot of momentum on their side now to do that. But again, another service error, which killed their momentum the last time out too. 15 service errors for each team.
This is what was besetting Ohio State in the first set. They'd get within a point or 2 points, but they just couldn't get over the hump, and the service errors were a big part of the reason. Aaron Grimm and trying to sweep it over on that second ball, but the Buckeyes are ready as Loyola has played pretty well themselves since that first set, but Ohio State just stepped up their game as Jones on to serve. And he finds the corner. They step back, probably just in a hopeful manner to think maybe it'll go long, but he was dialed in.
And that right there is why Jones gets subbed in as a server. Look at that float serve all the way to the back line.
And now this time it does float long and makes it 17-20. That was the score in the previous set as well. Ohio State wins the race to 20 with 3 points to spare. And now it's Fabikovic, the second-team All-American from Czech Republic, now known as Czechia, serving. He also had national team experience with the Czech program, and his serve is long. He tried to go with the float, so they're trying to mix it up a little bit more with the serves because they were catching on to it with the passing of serve in the second set.
Yeah, that was good communication by Ohio State's back row. Hachinsky calling that one out. And earlier in the season, that's something they struggled with, was their communication on in and out calls is a huge kill.
Aiden Klein, we hadn't heard too much from him of late, but he steps up with a big kill there.
Yeah, he gets his 4th kill of the match, puts the Ramblers within 3 of the Buckeyes.
And Deslaurier on for the serve. What a powerful swing by Hachinsky. And that ball ended up almost in the second deck here at the Covelli Center. And Ohio State with a 4-point lead.
And Loyola does not have any timeouts left here in this third set, so they're going to have to play this one through.
I think you got yourself into this, now get yourself out. It's going to take a lot of doing. Good pass to serve, though, and they had an opportunity, but the ball was just not quite where Mickelson could do much with it. And a 5-point Buckeye lead. 2 points away here from taking a 2-1 lead after losing the opening set. They won the opening set at Loyola Chicago, and Loyola won the next 3, so Ohio State trying to reverse that here in this match. That one goes long from Hurley. Now it's Howard trying to get the Ramblers to the 20-point mark. Ball skipped over, and finding the opening and putting the ball there. Using that old Ty Cobb axiom, hit it where they ain't.
And Eliel
it's a 5-point lead.
Yeah, Salvatore does a back roll to.
Everybody was committed the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, a little backwards roll to keep from going under the net, and now he goes back to serve.
Trying to wrap it up. Howard from the back, though, and add another kill. Yeah, they seem to be adept at gymnastics as well as everything else. And soccer, we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Seen it all. That one skims over the tape. A chance to put it away, Wetzel, and he does. And Ohio State has taken the third set 25-20, and they have taken both the second and third sets in convincing fashion. I believe that, including the 2 that Ohio State won in 16 and 17. Wants to get one as a head coach coming up here. And that's at the D3 level through D1. Brady Jones will start this Fourth set at the service line. And Ohio State trying to maintain their momentum. But Howard has been so strong in this match. Parks it in the corner. What's he got in terms of
He's got
kills?
11 kills so far tonight.
That sets his season high. He had 2 matches with 10 kills earlier this year. His career high is 15 he got in one of the 10 matches he played last year. And that's one of the reasons they were able to adjust so well, even though they had so many All-Americans hurt. Looks like they're going to review this last one.
Yeah, so Ohio State is actually challenging if that ball was in or out, if that hit from Howard hit the line or went out. It was a close one. It was a tough call, but if we can get another look, we might be able to see. They're taking a review down there. They're able to slow it way down and get a good look.
Every speed and every angle known to humanity. But let's take a look at what we have. That looked like it was in.
Yeah, and the call has been confirmed.
I felt in real time. I didn't see anything unusual about that.
No, I didn't either. So Ohio State loses their challenge, but you know what? It's the fourth set, and they haven't used any of their challenges yet, so it's a fair time to pull one.
Nothing to save them for, right?
Yeah, nothing to save it for. So the call remains. Ohio State loses one of their challenge cards. And Howard still gets that 11th kill of the night.
Schellinger to serve. He's been their other big hitter, and that ball hit the tape and bounded the wrong way. A lot of those serves have hit the tape. You wonder whether they are almost practicing the technique. You'd have Ohio State assistant coach years ago suggest that maybe would be a good tactic. Wetzel, the big serve, and that could not be handled by Fabakovic, and an ace.
Yeah, Wetzel gets his first ace of the night. Add that to his 3 digs, his block assist, and his 13 kills. He's had a pretty well-rounded performance. You can't ask for much more from Wetzel.
He was ranked as the 4th player in the country in the class of 2022. A very highly prized recruit for Ohio State. Long on that serve. And it's 2-all, and here is Mickelson. Handled by Fabakovic, and a kill by Wetzel. And there's good adjustment that he made to be able to get full force on that swing. He came around to hit it with his left hand. And now Hurley. Pass by Fabakovic into the middle, and the kill by Klein. Aiden Klein started out as a really active player in this match and now has begun to surface again. And they really need him to. Down 2-1 in this 4th set. To run off the floor, Rodriguez with a back set. The blockers were there, but it bounded out. And the Buckeyes go up 4-3.
You know, Shane Wetzel has a history of playing really strong against Loyola. His sophomore season back in 2024, he had his career best 24 kills against Loyola in March. So if this goes into a 5th set, he has a chance to get even more than that. 14 kills already so far for Wetzel.
Point is awarded to the Ramblers. They went with that short serve again, but they passed it. And there you see the kill by Klein once more. Fabakovic on the serve. Handled by Hurley. Hurley then from the back. And it is 5-4 Ohio State as he comes down hard on the ball.
Soa just reached his arm up a little bit on that one, got a tip on it, or else Hurley's hit might have been heading out.
He had to pass that ball to the setter and then get set up to spring into the hit. And made it work. Served by Rodriguez, another good pass. Down the line, but they missed the line. And Ohio State up 6-4. Rodriguez once more. That's a good serve, finding the setter right at the net. And they tool the block. As the first ball contact has been very effective, especially now you see them changing things up and throwing different things at them, and they're reacting very well. Klein. Hudson kept it airborne. Lachinsky had to roll there because he was over the 10-foot line, otherwise it would have been a back row attack. And then the kill by Schellinger. They really couldn't attack on that last one. It was not exactly a free ball, but it gave them a better chance to set something up, and we're tied.
Yeah, and Drew Hudson, you'll see here, Ohio State's libero makes a diving play to try to get under it, even reach his hand out, but just not able to.
Serve long from Klein.
Haczynski had to duck to get under that one and not touch it for it to go out. But Ohio State gets their lead back.
And also to avoid a headache.
Yeah, because I've taken a serve to the head before when I was down there sidelining, and I was seeing stars afterwards.
Serve and overpass as a result. Lachinsky, and he just bowled so over, like picking up the spare. And it's 8-6 Ohio State.
12 kills for Haczynski tonight and only one error. He's just become so much more efficient as the season has gone on, hitting .611 tonight.
And his back row play has been outstanding.
Yeah, he has 4 digs tonight as well.
And his serving has been outstanding.
Yeah, how else can we hype him up?
That one ended up in the hands of the
just a really well-rounded player.
A lot of good things too, like passes a serve that don't show up on the score sheet. A big factor in turning the game around in that second set.
Exactly, like you said, his passing has been so impactful.
And he tried to short serve that one. And they go out wide to Hurley, and he tools the block for the kill. Penn 6. Talk about Haczynski there from Poland, and we've got a player from Denmark and one from Czechia and 2 Puerto Ricans, a real international flavor here. But once again, despite the presence of 3 blockers, they couldn't stop him. Ohio State has just been controlling this match ever since that first set, when maybe they shot themselves in the foot by service errors at key times, but they have straightened that out, and they've just been playing extremely well since.
Yeah, Coach Davis said the Buckeyes play really well on their home court. Service error from Haczynski, but he said that they were prepared for that, to come in and for Ohio State to try to own this game like they do in the Cavelli Center, and that's exactly how the Buckeyes have played, really confident the whole way through.
It's a great home court atmosphere. Saved serve by Howard, but again the quick in the middle and put away by Haczynski. That's set up by Rodriguez. And the Buckeyes just rolling right now. And it's not that Loyola Chicago, I think they've actually played better from the second set on than they did in the set they won. But Ohio State has just raised their game even more. Schellinger, Rodriguez didn't see it, avoided hitting it twice in a row. And now it's bumped over. Free ball from the back, and the block. Torres is right there on the scene, and they just can do no wrong right now, the Buckeyes.
And that's actually going to force Loyola to use their second timeout. All that, and the Buckeyes just really adjusting their offense around Loyola's block, and those adjustments really worked in their favor.
And there's a kill by Howard. He's going to push that career best if this keeps up. Yes, those blockers in the middle, Klein and Mickelson really were game changers in the first set, and it hasn't been quite as much the case since, as you see Howard again splitting everybody on that powerful cross-court swing.
Yeah, 13 kills for Howard so far. He's led the way for the Ramblers.
Man, that one, so almost had to eat that one. The big swing from Torres. And Ohio State, despite the timeout, no coaches' points that time, they just continue to increase their margin. And it's getting to the point where it's going to be awfully hard to stop him. Petzel, this is maybe the only thing that could stop him is if they start making errors.
And, you know, like we said, the Ramblers, they used both their timeouts really early on. And now they have no choice again but to play through this one, as Ohio State has held the lead the majority of this fourth set.
Mickelson down the line, handled by Hurley. Hurley ready for the swing. Schellinger diving to the right to handle it. And Fabakovic from beyond the 10-foot line, well off the target. And it's 14-9 Buckeyes. Loyola, the number 7th ranked team in the nation. And Ohio State, number 18, and they have definitely put on a tremendous performance here after losing the first set, trying to close it out, which is the hardest thing to do, of course. Hurley, Schellinger, did he get to it? Yes. It did not hit the floor. Going over on the second ball. They were ready. Overpass, though. Back. Wetzel. Howard saves it, but another free ball. Hurley. Ohio State had opportunity after opportunity to attack, but they just never could quite put it down. Some great defense on the other side, starting with Schellinger as he kept that tough serve aloft.
Yeah, the Ramblers seemed really prepared for anything Ohio State tried to send their way. Looks like Coach Birch is having a quick word with the down official, but not going to challenge anything yet. Actually, he is. He is going to challenge a, let's hear what he's going to challenge. They're going to announce it to us. Ohio State is challenging that there was a potential net violation, it seems. And that would be, of course, they're challenging that Loyola was in the net.
Might be indicative of the fact that they really place a high premium on putting it away here in the fourth set rather than going and having to roll the dice on the fifth.
And keep in mind, Ohio State used one of their challenges early in the fourth set. The call was not overturned, so they lost that one. So this is their second one. If they lose it, they're out of challenges unless this goes to a fifth set. Then they are awarded an extra. Each team gets an extra challenge for that fifth set. So they should still be in good shape, even if this call is not overturned.
Sometimes that's a good time to use it where you're not in too bad shape. If it doesn't, it's a win-win situation. But if it would aid them in not having to go to a fifth set, they'd like that. There's a look at it. Take another view of it. Did they get into the net? Well, that may be.
It's a tough call, but like we said, they have so many different angles and speeds they can look at down there. Definitely worth challenging because it's taking a long time to review, and usually the longer it takes to review, that means it's such a close
call. Like when
call.
the jury's out. The longer the jury's out, you're thinking, well, there must be something to it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they just come in and pronounce their judgment and go home. Let's see what's going to happen here. I don't think it necessarily really affected the play at all, but it appeared that he possibly was in the net prior to that ball being struck. You see intently viewing it. Again, you've got all the different speeds and all the different angles necessary to really make the decision. Of course, if it's not At least that's what everybody always says, that if it's not clear evidence, then the call stands.
Or sometimes they'll even do a replay. If they really cannot come to a decision, they'll do a replay, which I have seen only a handful of times.
Take one more look at it. I don't know if that net was
the net moving,
going up and down because of that, but it did appear that there was some contact. And obviously, there's something more than just routine going on down there, one would think. They do reverse the call.
They do reverse it.
Yeah, talk about a sharp eye and a good time to use that challenge.
Exactly. So Ohio State gets to keep that challenge, and now they take a 6-point lead. I mean, that's a huge game changer for the Buckeyes, and they're now explaining what they saw to Loyola's head coach, Shane Davis. So looks like the Ramblers were in the net there. Great call by Coach Birch to pull that challenge, and by his team, who I'm sure relayed to him what they had seen.
Hurley keeps his service run alive. It's a good pass and a swing. That was a hard shot to convert, and they weren't able to do it. And it's now a 7-point lead. No team has been up that many points all night long, and it's maybe indicative of the fact that the Buckeyes are. But we're going to have a challenge here saying that ball may. Crew. It started out very promisingly when they won that first set, and they have battled and not given an inch all night, but Ohio State's just taken the game from them. And they're now up 7 in this fourth set. Hurley, Babakovic, passed it, then he came up and he put it into the net. 4 contacts called anyway. And you just see maybe some frustration beginning to become evident with the Loyola Chicago players.
Yeah, just beating themselves in some ways with those errors. They have 39 kills, but 17 attack errors. They're only hitting 244 as a team, and that's the difference in the game. Buckeyes, 49 kills, only 11 errors.
Babakovic with a tremendous passive serve there, but to no avail again. And this ship just looks like it's maybe sailing away, or the boulder rolling downhill and you can't get it back. 9-point lead. They have doubled Loyola here in the fourth set. Hurley again, and a service error. And that's been one of the ways that Loyola has gotten a point. There's a rare Ohio State miscue. And they're down 10-18. And they need to get a run going, and McElligott now will try to spark it. Hurley had trouble passing it, but Hudson turned setter. But they never really got anything to work on there. And Haczynski just pushed it long.
Looks like Coach Birch is getting just a little bit of clarification from the down official again.
McElligott.
And that's the pause we're seeing in the game. Captain Shane Wetzel now going over to ask a question to the official, but not sure what he asked, but he's going to laugh that one off, and they're going to keep going.
If I was Ohio State, I'd just try to keep this game going and ride the wave of momentum that they've got. And into the net, 19-11. The other team's on the verge of imploding. Everything's going well for you. Why rock the boat by, although I thought maybe that was the case, that they were doing that with that challenge, and it turned out to work for them. It proved to be pivotal here in this fourth set. And again, they're in the top spin serve. Big swing by, and they play the ball long, and point finally awarded to the Buckeyes after Howard had a good opportunity earlier. And now it's 20-11.
Buckeyes starting to run away with this one. I'm going to head down courtside in case Ohio State takes this one in 4 sets for a post-game interview. So, Greg, this is you.
You can get down there so quick. You can just stay up here and just be down in a second, right? All right.
I know you don't want me to go. We gotta get down there.
All right. Talk to you soon. 21-11. The way the game's going, you might want to get down there quickly because they're on the verge of putting it away. And Ohio State, that's what it's been. They've just been up, and away here in this fourth set. The second and third sets, they actually won pretty convincingly, too. There's a kill by Aiden Klein. They won 19 and 20, and now they're just running away with this fourth set, 12-21. Back set, kill, Hurley. Everything going their way. They've got a double-digit lead now. Hannah will be down talking to the player of the match. Could be a lot of nominees for the Buckeyes. It's just been a real team effort since they dropped that opening set. (13-21) after the service error. There's Lucas Anderson, who's come in for some serving duty tonight. Just pounds it over, but handled coolly by Haczynski, and another kill. That's Grimm. And it is 23-13. Pardon me, Hurley on the kill from the back row. Haczynski. And tried to roll it over the net. They made a few service errors, but they're not as costly when you have the kind of a lead that they have, as they were in that first set when it was very close, and they several times got within 1 or 2 points and could not get over the hump, largely because of service errors. That one goes wide from Wetzel. It's never over, as the great sage Yogi Berra said, until it's over. 2 or 3 more points and maybe start to get a little fidgety, but it still looks like it's solidly in control. And there's Wetzel, hit Sauer, and looked like it was on other side of the antenna, as it was, and 9 match points. Brady Jones comes on to try to finish it off. And the fans on their feet in expectation of the final nail in the proverbial coffin. Won't be on that one. That ball just had a little helium in it. Before it was just a steady diet of the big, powerful jump serves. They've really changed it up because the passing of service was so effective. They had to go to another phase of the game plan, but now Schellinger hammers one, a heavy topspin, and Sawa having to scramble to get out of the way. After the first contact, that shot went wide from Howard, and that's it. Ohio State has won it, and they just got better and better and better with each set. And then they just threw it into overdrive and blew the boys from the Windy City away in the fourth set.